So there's a couple of beginning books. Are you from an atheist background, Christian?
Well, I used to be Catholic.
Oh, Catholic, yeah. So you can try this. It's a good little book. It's easy to read.
Oh, but I don't love Jesus.
Okay, in that case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is this.
There you go. It's better, right?
And what can you tell me, like?
Sure. So Islam is unlike Catholicism or Christianity. It's not named after somebody, right? Like if you say Christian, it starts with Christ, right?
Yeah.
Jewish starts with Judaism, right? Hindu or Buddhist, all of them have a beginning with people. Islam believes in a holistic approach to religion, which is that the same creator sent Jesus and Moses and Abraham, the same one that inspired them to do good, that's the same Allah, creator, that inspired the Prophet Muhammad. And there are hundreds, as far as in the Quran, about 25 different prophets, but we know it's about 120,000 prophets. So maybe Buddha and Confucius, they're all trying to call towards that one message, right? Okay. But people corrupt the message, as you know. I mean, with Catholics, I mean, they change the Bible. Their Bible has more chapters than the Protestant Bible. Book of Mormon is totally different from that. But we believe in preserving the message as it was revealed, right? So the Prophet Muhammad, the Quran was revealed to him. He didn't write it because he couldn't read or write, but it was revealed to him as a message, right? And those that were around him, they would write it down or memorize the whole Quran. And then from that time period, we have Qur'ans that were written down that we still can carbon date today, right? So we don't have the same corruption that you find in the Bible, right? Have you read the Bible and things?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know the contradictions and the things that were changed, and all the weird stuff.
Yeah.
There you go, you're there. Yeah. Excellent. So the Islamic belief is very simple, right? We have a creator. He's not a man, he's not a woman, it's not a white guy on long hair, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. We don't give gender to our creator. We don't give human qualities. We say laysa kamithlihi shay. The Quran says there's nothing like him, right? Allah is our creator. We use the word Allah, but we know him through many names, right? In one hadith it mentioned that there is 99, and in fact there are many more. And the Quran says there's so many names, like different creatures could know Allah through different names in different worlds, different planets. I mean, so there's a broader scope of religion, right? Now, why do we use the word Allah? First, because Allah chose it for himself, right? But also it has no gender. Like if you say God, that's sexist, right? Because that means a man, right? Because if you're a woman and you're being judged by a man, it may not be fair. If he's white, if he's a white guy on a cross, right? That's not fair to black people or brown people, right? That's why some of the popes, they would justify slavery and killing of the indigenous people of these countries, because they'll say, well, God made man in his image and God was white, so brown people and black people aren't humans, right? Yeah. And that's how you look at in South America and what the Columbus and all the Europeans did. They justified it through religion, right? They forced Christianity. Mexico, Argentina, these countries weren't Catholic. It was forced on them, right? But Islam doesn't believe in force. Islam begins in the heart. It's the belief that begins, right? So somebody who forces you can't ever be Muslim. It's got to be in your heart, right? And it's a direct relationship. Like, think about this. You know that there is somebody who made this world, right? Because it's perfect. Like, look at it. If the world tilted an inch off its axis, we'd burn up. If it tilted an inch the other way, we'd freeze up. I mean, look at our ozone layer that we're destroying as humans. We shouldn't, right? But look how perfectly it stops the harmful rays from the sun, but lets us benefit from the heat. If it was too thick and stopped the heat, we'd all freeze. Crops wouldn't grow, right? Food wouldn't be there. But if it was not there, we all die from the infrared rays, right? So look at that perfection. We breathe oxygen, put out carbon dioxide. Plants, they do the opposite. They take in carbon dioxide, put out oxygen. See this balance? Like, it doesn't come on accident, right? Look at your body, right? You have a heart, you have a kidney, you have a liver. All of that works without you even thinking about it. Like, think about self-healing. Today, if we program a computer, if we make the best robot, AI, all of that, right? But it can't heal itself. The metal gets broken, you gotta go in, you gotta do it, right? But look at the skin, it cuts. You don't have to do anything, the skin heals itself. Infection comes in, white blood cells come, they attack it. Who made all that? Right? So you know there is a creator, but you know that creator can't be a man or a woman or a monkey. Like, people worship monkeys, come on, right? Like, you really think monkey's your God, right? We believe in a master owner, Lord of all of the worlds, not just us. In the Quran it says Rabbul Alameen, not Alam, but many worlds, right? So that creator that made you, that made me, that made animals, that made jinn, that made humans, that made other creation that we don't even know about, that creator didn't leave us without guidance, right? Like imagine if you come up with a new technology today, like a new cell phone better than an iPhone, better than Samsung, right? And it's like totally cool new design, right? But if you just give it to people here, they'll be like, how do I use it, right? They'll be like banging on, and you're like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. You would make a manual, you know? We call in medical device world IFU, instructions for use, right? Because you manufactured it, you know best how to use it. So this Quran is like that manual. Our creator sent us this manual, hey, don't kill each other, you know, what's right, what's wrong. Because everybody could have their own idea. Somebody could say, you know what, Hitler was a great guy. Many people were Nazis, right? They believe he was a good guy. But, you know, we think, well, you know, those genocides, all those murders, not really a good thing to do, right? So everybody could make their own right and wrong. But in Islam, instead of everybody making a cultural norm, we believe in a divine right or wrong. What's right? What Allah says right, our creator. What's wrong is what He tells us is wrong. So that's the message of Islam. We as Muslims, we don't drink, we don't do drugs, we don't fornicate, we try to keep a clean lifestyle, keep your body pure from toxins, from alcohol, from cigarettes and all this stuff. You know, keep your body healthy and keep your spirit healthy, right? We pray 5 times a day, right? We believe that you shouldn't take somebody else's right, you shouldn't abuse like the Christians did when they came to Native American countries and massacred and genocides. Muslims didn't do that. Muslims ruled Spain for 700 plus years. But they didn't kill the Christians and Jews. So everybody lived in peace. It was called Andalus, right? When the French and others, they took Spain away from the Moors, they had the Spanish Inquisition. What did they do? If you don't become my type of Christian, you're killed. You're Jews, Muslims, other Christians, you know. So we don't believe in that. That's not the message we believe in. Yeah, there's politics, people make up groups and use religion wrong. We don't believe in that. We believe in a peaceful existence. Islam comes from the word aslama, which means to submit, which comes from the same root word of salama, peace, right? That's why when we see each other, we say salam alaikum, peace be upon you, right? What a beautiful greeting, right? You can learn that today, salam alaikum, right? So when we see each other, we're not like hi, you know. Instead, we say peace be upon you, right? The other person says wa alaikum assalam, and peace be upon you as well. Allah in the Quran says, I call you towards Darus Salam, the place of peace, right? So we believe there is a life after this life, right? Because think about it, if this was it, what's the point of life, right? I mean, I'm not gonna ask your age, but me, I'm 40 something, right? So the last 40 years of my life, like this, right? I mean, I have some memories, but that's it, right? Good times, bad times, they all passed, right? So if this is it, what's the point of life? It's just a bunch of memories, right? And humans weren't meant to just end. And that's why humans always think about what's after death, purpose of life. Dogs and animals don't. You don't see animals develop religious thoughts. You don't see them develop different languages. They have their barking or meowing or mooing, and that's it, right? But humans were made for a greater purpose, right? A greater life after this death. And the first step, as you are doing, is to recognize your creator. Who is Allah? Who created me? Why was I created? And then as you get to know Allah, you submit. As a Muslim, that's what it means. That's why we say Jesus was a Muslim, because he submitted himself to God, right? Not the fiction that they have made Jesus into today, right? So we believe anybody who submits themselves to the will of their creator, follows the Quran, follows the Prophet of their time, then they are Muslims, right? So what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I'm really interested in learning.
Excellent, excellent.
In the big picture, I just want to learn about what everybody thinks. And
Excellent.
Create like some things
Excellent.
that I believe.
Yeah, but I mean, you yourself, right? Don't you feel that there is a creator? Really? Not at all? But think about this, right? As an atheist, how do you think this world in its perfection came to be? Right? Let me give you an example. Like I thought about this myself, right? Like I like to critically examine things. I'm not calling for blind faith, right? My kids have Legos, right? I wasted a lot of money on a lot of Legos, right? So if I took a big bucket of Legos and I throw it repeatedly, right? Just throw it and throw it and throw it, it will never make itself into an Eiffel Tower, right? It will always have different results, but even if I did an infinite amount of throws, it will not make itself into perfection. It may make something close, a building or something. You see what I'm saying? But look at the way the human body works. You know, when the mother is pregnant, right? Milk comes in the breast, right? Regularly, a woman, she doesn't have milk in her breast. But only when she has a child. Like, how does that happen? Where did that start? Who programmed that? Like, I don't know if you've done any computer programming or... So think about this, right? Like when you write code, every line of code has to be written out. You miss one comma, your code's not gonna run, right? But who made this perfect code? You don't think there's gotta be some creator?
No, genuinely I don't.
So
but
how?
I'm just interested in learning.
Okay, good.
What everybody thinks.
But
and maybe
I'm interested in learning too, right?
Yeah.
But so what do you think? Like, how did everything come to be?
Oh no, I was just thinking science, but
I believe in science too. But science doesn't tell you who or why, right? I work in the med device industry, right? So we do medical device clinical trials. I know how theory and hypothesis, and I know all of that. So science cannot tell you who made the world. Yeah. Science can tell you how things develop, right? We can do a trial. We can take grass and split the DNA infuse it with something and see how it changes. Yes, but we can't tell you who made grass, right? But as an intelligent human being that you are, you should ask yourself that question. Well, who made this? Like, I mean, when you look at just the way the human body works scientifically, how the brain works, how it functions, nerves, the messages, all the stuff that we don't control. Like, you don't sit there and go, if I hurt myself, I need to send a message, right? Yeah. Automatically happens. As a programmer, as somebody who's done code, you know there's got to be something behind that, right?
Oh, that's something that I have to give it.
Excellent. Think about it. That's the thing with Islam. We don't force it down anybody's throat. It's just a matter of thinking. Take a Quran. It's the actual book. It's all free. Read it. Read the books.
Oh, this one's in Spanish.
In Espanol, see?
Oh, yeah, better.
You speak Spanish too? All right. We have this in Spanish as well. But yeah, I mean, if you got it in English, it's up to you. Yeah.
Oh, it was great listening to you.
Great talking to you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.